Hey guys, this is Rich from Pacific, and today I'm going to show you how to run the Chief Paroxysmus Peerless boss in Ultima Online. So I'm going to be using Enhanced Client. This is my Sampire. It's a pretty typical Sampire build. I'm using parrying, swords, tactics, Bushido, chivalry, and necromancy. Now, normally I actually would probably swap out for anatomy, but I just got lazy. This boss doesn't cast any spells, so you don't really need resist, and that really helps, but I'm going to avoid it this time. Alright, so um, keying up this boss is kind of a hassle. You go to the Palace of the Paroxysmus, and you have to kill the slimes that are kind of in this first area here, and they will drop either the skull, the torso, or the legs, and they're not very consistent. Do make sure that you're using a spell channeling weapon if you're a Dexer, because the slimes will corrode your weapon with every hit. Once you get enough of those items, I try to do at least a couple sets. Then you have to get the spleen of the putrefier, which is located in this area of the dungeon. There is a green demon. He's a Balron. He's basically like he's a very high level Balron, and he does hit very hard. He will hit you for 60, 70 points sometimes, with a lethal poison as well. So, make sure you're prepared. I'm using a Bard second account. I use it in a lot of my bigger hunts with my Sampire. It allows me to provide the Peacemake Mastery buff, which will cut my damage quite a bit. It also is pretty good for the poison resistance. So, onto this place. So once you get these 4 items, you come down to this lower area. Just follow the Acid River, and you'll see a cauldron here. And you put these 4 items in the cauldron, and you'll get a solve that allows you to cross this area of this boss. Now, here's pretty important. What you do is, the tactic will be, you go one player at a time. So if you're in a big group, just make sure that before you do this, before you get the solve, you kind of decide the order. Because what will happen is, once you get across, you click on the gate, there's a timer. I don't know if it's 30 seconds or something like that, where if somebody comes in right after you, they may be sitting here waiting, and their ointment may wear off before the gate renews. So don't use the ointment until you're ready to cross, and make sure you define an order. Since I'm going to do this 2-man, I'm just going to bring the bard across first, hide him in the corner, and then bring my Sampire across next. I'm going to honor the Chief Paroxysmus, and then deal with the surrounding spawn. He does not have a Slayer vulnerability. I noticed that cold damage does pretty good, so I'm going to use this demon axe that I normally use on Roof. It has hit lightning, hit leech, hit stamina, and swing speed. You can use another axe like this that has hit lower defense. Works real well, but double strike is really kind of a better choice on this guy over AI. You end up doing more damage over time. Of course, I've got a cameo on that'll give me my swing speed increase and some other stuff, but again, he does not have a Slayer. Alright, here we go. Okay, one more thing too, with this particular boss. If you're in a party of folks, there's only really a couple of templates that work real well. I use the Sampire or some sort of paladin build. It works real well. You need to be able to handle the poison that happens all the time. You need to be able to stay cured. Vampires usually will shrug off some of the poison, but he'll drop lethal, so you'll stay poisoned a lot. And what I'll do is I'll try to cure. So if you're a spellcaster, just cast mass cure all the time. Basically, that'll help the whole party stay poison free. My if you're Bard, my Bard I'm going to run in Stone form, and with the Peacemake Mastery, it'll keep him pretty much, he never gets poisoned, so that's fine, he can just sit there. One last thing is if you're planning on doing this, and you've got your cool tamer, don't do it. Don't bring pets into this at all. In fact, it's kind of risky to even bring a swamp dragon in here, because if you die, you got to make sure you quit the game very quickly so your pet disappears, because if Chief Paroxysmus kills your pet, he will eat your pet's corpse and it will heal him 100%. So even if he's down at like 2%, if he eats any sort of summon corpse or pet corpse, he will heal 100% instantly, and it's a very big pain in the butt. So do not cast EVs, do not cast Rising Colossus, do not bring your pets. This is a Dexter mage boss entirely. Alright, here we go. Yeah, see, then the gate just respawned. You want to get the honor in? Alright. Basically, now I have to make sure that I turn on my Peacemake Mastery. Just try to stay out of harm's way for a second. So it's helpful if you can get rid of these. So now I'm going to basically just kind of engage him single target. Try to do as many onslaughts and double strikes as I can. And I'm going to try to get him discorded with my body. So I'm going to switch to my fire axe. Maybe I'll do a little more damage.
Hey, look at me, lady. I'm just a little baby. If I smile, then you smile. Then I'll get mad for a while. I'm melting, you're melting. In your hands whenever I can. But I really do nothing except kicking and busting. I like to make a mess. I laugh at your distress. I sit all day in my crib, absorbing all you give. I'm helpless. I'm powerless. I'm a machine. Give me. I need my toys. Wow. Keep me hot, keep me slow, keep me if I don't. Keep me hot, keep me slow, keep me if I don't. Keep me hot, keep me slow, keep me if I don't. Keep me hot, keep me slow, keep me if I don't. So now you listen, 'cause I'm all
So as you can see, it's fairly repetitive. You just need to make sure your key combinations are good. You can see what I'm doing is onslaught and wait for the sound, and then you get about 4 swings for double strikes in when you have to onslaught again. One thing I'd recommend is don't get too complacent with this, because the wrong combination of a miss and a double hit from him will end you very quickly. A lot of times insta-death is pretty common on this, so it may seem, oh, easy, and then next thing you know, you're dead. So just stay vigilant.
No, it's shut it, far from me. No, it's shut it, but it does. The small victories, looking cause in the daggers, bullet on my face, making me thinking that someday I might beat you, but I'll just keep my mouth shut. Let's shut it, far from me. No, let's shut it. No, let's shut it, far from me. No, let's shut it, but it does. Woo! Woo!
So, since I'm running bard buffs, I'm not going to drop party or anything because my bard is not doing damage. Normally you want to drop pretty much after he reaches 0, because if you got buffs, you'll need them to stay alive. So don't drop party too early if you're doing this in a big group. Third. So with my characters, I'm gonna wait till he's pretty much almost dead, and it's tough to gauge, but then I'm gonna jump into my luck suits. Well, looks like we didn't get a Swampy, but there you go. Some talisman. Maybe a few artifacts. Yep. Give it a go next time. Alright, thanks. That's it, guys.